can't say anything about that. That when it's hard to define. You know, when I battle Mark Schauer, it's partisan. His issues are clearly partisan issues right now. What's the Democrat platform? What are they pushing for? What did they do on the health care plan? It was Democrat versus Republican. When you saw Dave Camp and Peter Roska and Paul Ryan, all Republicans, all go to the White House and stand before the president and said, here's our alternative. Could we consider this? They came as Republicans, yes, but they came with their hands out saying, here's an alternative to what you're going to do. Now the media will play that as partisan. So I think we got to get past that. And I think we have to look at the issues. And whether it's played as partisan or not doesn't make a difference. If it is Republican versus Democrat on the right way to go versus the wrong way to go, I'm going to be a Republican partisan. And I'm not going to be a John McCain that got so good at walking across the aisle that he forgot where his part was at. And he never brought anybody back his way.
But I'm concerned with the congressional leaders, Senate and House, holding the line and requiring the Republicans to vote as a bloc and the Democrats to vote as a bloc, rather than look for honesty, consensus.
That never happened in the Republican Party when I was there. Never. I was never asked to vote as a bloc. We discussed it, we hashed it out, we debated it. I was never asked, or I was never, when I voted against the president on the bailout, I was never approached by the White House. Now what they do on the other side of the aisle, having watched Rahm Emanuel work up close and personal, that may be a different story. When you get guys like John Dingell falling in line to Nancy Pelosi, you know there's some pressure going on there for whatever reason. And when he gets spanked and taken off his energy committee as chairman, and Waxman put into place, you know there's some power control going on. I never saw that. Now the media may report that, but I was never.
What it appears like.
Oh yeah, well remember what the mainstream media is talking about. They don't want conservatives to have any resurgence. And they're going to make everything possible that that doesn't happen. But I can tell you, when you send the right people to Washington, or to Lansing, or the town council, or the county commission, when you send the right people, whether Republican or Democrat, and they vote right and have the character and conviction to stand, you don't have to worry about that. But I tell you what, I'm going to be a Republican partisan on the issues of limited government, on the issues of reducing taxes, and cutting spending, and freedom. I'm going to be a partisan because the other side doesn't have it. They're giving it away.
Yeah,
So that sets me up. You know.
I don't call that partisanship.
Okay.
That's conservative.
Some people do. So we'll go here and then we'll go back there.
Okay, I'd love to talk about partisanship more, but I have, going back a little bit, in fact, I was going to mention myself, the 49% of people who pay no income tax, and maybe with rebates it's even more than that. My question is, are we reaching a tipping point, or have we passed the tipping point? And with the expansion of the dependency class, this is a big problem in the UK, for example. But is it going to be a bigger problem here? Are we already past that point? Also, are we ready, or do you think the population is ready to hear the truth? I would agree with you, I think in many ways that the election of President Obama was maybe one of the best things that ever happened to the country because it made clear the differences. And the media hasn't quite figured it out yet, but I think a lot of people have. But what's your view of what, are people ready to hear the truth about where we're really at? There's an article recently in National Review that the public debt, federal, state, and local, is actually $140 trillion. And talking about the mother over here was mentioning how much your kids are in debt already. Are people ready to hear these things? And I just mentioned one, a little bit of a wonk here, but Ethics and Public Policy Center has a great website, and James Capretta has an article entitled something like The Revised Social Contract, or the New Social Contract, where he talks about not just the next 6 months, but the next 50 years of the social contract between government and the public, and impact and things like Social Security, and basically trying to expose, to put it bluntly, the lies that have been told us for the last 50 years or more, and bringing those things out? Are people ready to hear the truth about where we're really at financially and otherwise? Or is the dependency class now taken over and the rest of us might as well become part of the dependency class?